So I am measuring my hair length here. Just trying to get a feel for it. I just washed my hair. Everything's squeaky clean. This is the product here in the jar. Get a look at that. And I think I'm just gonna put my hair up for ease and continue to part this into sections that I can handle. I can put the product in easily, put little parts in here and do square shaped sections so I can put the product in. So I'm just gonna pin this up, get it out of the way. And a little, not that straight, but there we have it. And here's the product. It's kind of messy, drippy. I'm gonna make sure that I coat the locks. I'm gonna get it all deep down into my scalp and really drench these locks. Rake through the hair so I can get the knots out. And that way I make sure I'm making sure that I'm not braiding this and sealing it with knots in there. Being very careful here, using, sort of the finger method to get the knots out of this. And this oil is actually making it easier to get the knots out, but I'm just making sure that I'm distributing the product over and over again as I rake through this part of the hair. So for this, I think I'm gonna decide to do 2-strand twist instead of a braid. I think I'm going to use these back twists to measure my hair check length, my length checks. Look at all of this product. I'm just gonna smooth out this extra product and redistribute in my hair so it doesn't drip out and get wasted. Put that there. But yeah, this side is a bit shorter than the other, but good way to check the length. And I'm just gonna move on to the next parts here. Oh my gosh, this is messy. Look at this, so messy. Jeez. So this is the finished look. Nice and moisturized. I like the finished look. Look like somebody cares about me. I got a mama. But I'm liking this. Not so bad. So I thinned this out. I chopped it up a bit, but it still looks wiggy to me. I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I mean, I have the little baby hairs here and everything. I thinned it out, I cut it. I put some makeup on the netting here. I mean, I don't know. It just still looks pretty full in this top area here. I don't know. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Part of it is because I just don't really ever wear my hair down, so however I do it, it's just gonna look weird. Oh man, no matter what I do, it's just gonna look weird. I just have to get over that. That is just own it. Own it. All right. It has been a couple of days, and when I originally twisted these and braided them, they were like a bit more juicy, like a bit more puffy fluffy. But since then, I've slept on them. The first day to work, I did wear a wig on top of this. So I put on the wig, and then I've been putting on my satin lined cap as well in between. So it's definitely taken some of the volume out of the twist and braids. Most people on other videos have talked about how after a few days when they went to do the next application of the Shea Butter powder that it felt very soft and very, moisturized, and it didn't feel that way to me today. To the touch, it felt a bit not hard, but dry. I guess just dry. And so what I've done today, it's been a couple days, like I said,
I just sprayed it with some of my rose water and rose water glycerin mixture. So to give it a little bit more moisture and plumpness. I did notice also, just by manipulating them just a little bit, by touching them, there was a lot of product fallout as well. So I was glad I was kind of over my sink and it sort of all fell in there, but it's, you know, black specks and everything like that. Nowhere near as messy as the original application. It was all melty and oily and dripped everywhere. And I ended up using way more than I thought I would. So it just, the first application I had quite a few learnings. So I'll put less shea butter, more coconut oil, keep it cold so that it's not all wet. I mean, you know, all melty and drippy. And that's about all I've learned from the first application. And then we'll continue on with this. I don't see, because my hair is black, or really, really dark brown / black, and the product is close to being the same color, the product sitting in my hair is not as obvious as I thought it would be. So only because I'm just not really feeling how I have my hair braided is the only reason why I'm not wearing this like to work. But I can think of some ways to pin my hair and make it look nicer and appropriate for the office with the product still in it. The smell, even with the essential rose oil in there, still marginal, still not the best, but we will continue. And like I said, each week I'll do a length check. You guys saw me do the length check when I first started, and it's about, I have no other way to describe it, but it's about areola length. So it basically reaches the top of my areola. And we'll continue to keep doing length checks every week, and I'll continue to tell you my feelings about how this product looks and works in my hair. But after a couple of days, it is dry. I did have to re-wet it to get some, you know, freshness to it, and there is product fallout when I do manipulate my hair. Otherwise, I'm dealing with it. It's all right, and we can, and I will live. Hello. Okay, we are back. Update on the Shea Butter powder in the hair. So today represents day 9 after my first application. I was supposed to put some more in there in between, but I did have some business travel that I had to do, and I was concerned about having fresh Shea Butter and all those oils and stuff in my hair traveling to go meet a client. So I skipped it. I purposely skipped that time in there to put in the next application. So I also learned, and I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last video, but I also learned that it wasn't really necessary to cover my hair after putting the Shea Butter. The plus side is that the Shea Butter is dark, my hair is dark. So I did on 3 of the 9 days cover my hair. One day I wore a hat, and 2 of the other days I wore a wig, and I felt stupid in the wig, and the hat was too big for my head. So since then I've just been kind of pulling up these few braids into a ponytail and just making sure that I brush the edges and pull down the baby hairs to make it look kempt. And that was as far as I went with keeping my hair in order. Every couple of days or so I would refresh my locks with a little bit of the rose oil. You guys have seen me use this before, but I have used a little bit of this rose oil in my hair to get a little bit of hydration to it. And then I would pick any of my random oils, whether it be my jojoba, my castor, I have a myriad of them, and you know that, or my coconut. I would pick one of those just to kind of seal it in and add that moisture a bit to it. I found that I haven't taken these down yet, but just to the touch, the oil, you know, soaks in. These are all the ones I've used, feel like very light oils. Those are very conducive, that my hair, you know, conducive to hair moisture, and my hair really likes them. They don't sit on top of the hair, they soak into the follicles. So I found that it didn't stay very, you know, wet or greasy or anything to the touch for that long, but my hair felt healthy and nourished, if that makes sense. So it didn't feel oily or greasy, but I felt that I had thoroughly conditioned my hair with the stuff that I put in there. So it certainly, I mean, it feels dry to the, I mean, kind of feels dry, like in terms of dampness to the touch. It didn't look oily, so it doesn't look greasy to the touch, but it does look healthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take down the first, so I have it in this ponytail, but I'm gonna take down the first twist in the back. This twist is what we have been using as sort of our length check one. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take this down. One thing I think I might have mentioned before is that when you manipulate these braids, there is a bit of powder fallout. So I am imagining that I'm gonna have quite a bit of fallout by taking these down completely. So I do see some. You know what, I'm thinking, now that I really think about it, may not be that much because it's been 9 days since the first application. So perhaps most of it has already fallen out on its own. So we shall see. In terms, right now I'm kind of pulling through it to see if there's shed hair. And right now there has been literally one strand shedded out. Obviously you can't see what I'm holding up, but one strand has shedded and that's it. I have a little bit of shave fallout. Once I'm done with all of this, I'm going to show you what the sink looks like so you can see just about how much product has fallen out of my hair. This time I am deciding to use this cold because I think I might have shared with you last time that using it warm was not a good idea. It dripped everywhere, so I'm going to use it cold this time, so maybe perhaps to get some sort of control over how much, you know, drips and things happen. We're going to do the very first one here, and of course I prefer again to wet my hair a little bit because I find that my hair accepts product better if it's hydrated as well. So I am not doing this scientifically, meaning using a ruler. We're going to eyeball it to see if we have any growth, and I doubt it. If I have growth in 9 days, this is some magical, you know, shit. Y'all, everybody needs to go buy some if I have some growth in 9 days, but this is just for the sake of theatrics. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what this looks like. Put a little bit of this oil into it. Oh, and then when I apply it, I actually like to get down onto the scalp, just dig in here and get it into the scalp. I don't think I showed you guys the original application very well. But that's sort of a little bit of the method of my madness, is that I do sort of dig in and get the scalp quite a bit, because that's where my hair is growing out of. I think that not only should the hair get some of the nutrients, my scalp needs to get some too. So okay, let's go ahead and move on to the shaft of the hair with, and I'm using like, maybe you can't really see this, but maybe like a pea size. You're supposed to really coat and drench the hair, but with it being cold, I'm gonna, you know, like I said, just use what I think is appropriate. With it being cold, it's harder to tell. I found a knot. Literally, like, I have not, my hair has been, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. My hair has been twisted for 9 days. How was there a knot in the middle of this twist is beyond me. But anyway, so now that we have detangled this, coated it, all of that good stuff, where are we? Try to keep my head straight. It is the same. It is, you know, what I called areola length. It's the same, you know. What I do find too is I'm still probably going to struggle a bit with retaining length because my hair is not exactly even. I didn't like cut this before I started, so when I'm twisting or braiding my hair and I get down to the ends, it gets fairly thin or skinny or whatever you want to call it, and I don't want to braid all the way to the end because that I won't be able to unbraid it. It'll be too fine of a braid for me to unbraid it. So I try my best to just seal the ends with the product, you know, but over time, again, that just kind of bushes out. And then at the end of all my braids, I have a little bit of a bush, and those bushes get knots. So where I should be seeing my growth, I guess, I'm not seeing it. So I'm actually kind of contemplating cutting my hair to get a more blunt end and be able to braid it more nicely and keep the knots off, and then maybe be able to retain some length. But I'm thinking about it. But all right, so we've seen, okay, the first sort of length check after a while here, and it's the same. So we'll keep on going, and I'll keep applying this and twisting and all that good stuff, and we'll get going. And once I'm done, we'll have another chat. Okay, so we're at the very last piece here. I'm gonna also show you sort of how much hair fell out. Try to do as much as I can over the sink as I could. Show you how much fell out, how much hair shed or broke, or the knots I had to get out, the product that fell out, and the mess that it makes. You get a feel for what that experience is like. But I'm here, I'm on the very last piece. I'm gonna go ahead and show you sort of what that looks like from the front angle, putting the product in. So like I said, I like to hydrate it with this rose water first. Get the ends really well. I mean, I get all of it really well. Shaft, roots, and ends. Just get it really nice and wet. But not like too drippy wet where it's just a mess. But I just need it to. And I kind of squeeze the hair, make sure that it's soaking into the follicles. And again, just another last check for any knots, because sometimes I have a little like the single strand knots, and just want to make sure I get those. Or any shed hair that again wants to come out, kind of get all of that out, which I think I got all of that. And then what I also realized about even the cold mixture, I had to stir it a little bit. Let me show you that. Show you how much I used as well. Whoops, it's dripping out. So show you how much I used. I had to stir it a bit because the Shea Bay powder ended up settling at the bottom of the jar, because you know when it got cold it settled at the bottom. So there you have it. A little, I don't know if you can see that, a little knot. Anyway, so those are the ends done. Okay, today is day 15. I've been trying to like videotape as much of the interim steps as I can. So today we're doing a length check and reapplying. The last time I did this was, I forget what day, but it has been 6 days instead of 5 days between the last time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and like I said the last time, I spray the parts with rose water, and then I go ahead and detangle and apply the Shea Bay powder / oil mixtures and braid back up. And so let's get right into it. I'm actually not gonna film me doing it this time around, just gonna show you the length check and the end product, and then we'll be back again on day 20, day 21 or something like that, so I can show you the progress from there. Okay, so length check time, again, day 14. I will say that I can't really say that it has grown that much. I feel like what I'm seeing here, it feels like I've gotten like about an inch extra, because at first it was sort of right at where the areola starts, and I have just like a little bit in addition to that. I feel like what I'm seeing more is like the stretching of the hair more so than actual growth. But we'll see. We'll just continue down this path. I'm still skeptical. I'm gonna be consistent and just go through the process, go through the journey. But for now, I feel like it's not really growing. Again, it's only been 14 days or 15 days. So I'm not expecting anything crazy, but from just the length check, it looks like there's about an inch of a difference. But I feel like it's just because of keeping it in this twist for that long, and pulled up is stretching the hair. And this is probably my hair stretched more so than it is growth, but I could be wrong. It's because I am skeptical, but we'll keep going. So I'll show you the finished product when I'm done, and we'll come back again day 20, 21. So this is the final look. This is how I normally kind of braid it. I literally unbraid a section, wet it, detangle, reapply the Shea Butter powder, and braid it back up. I did end up using the very last of the last batch of mixture that I made, so I have to make some more. At least I have a feel for now how much my hair will take in, so now I know how much to make for the next time I'm gonna use this. So that's a lesson. I also noticed that my hair didn't absorb as much water this time around, or the rose water. It kind of just kind of rolled right off the hair for the most part, but I still felt like some moisture is beneficial to help absorb the oils into my hair, hydrate, then moisturize. So that I'm still going to continue to do that, but I've noticed I just don't have to use as much rose water, which is awesome because then I just use less product. The other thing is that I probably didn't describe the feel of the hair. The hair is very soft and fluffy. It's not oily, it's not sticky, it's not, I don't know what else to describe, but it's just very fluffy and soft and light is the feel of the hair as you take it out. There is a ton of product fallout, a lot more than the last time I applied, but a lot less breakage and shedding than the last time I applied. So seems like things are getting better. It's getting softer. It's feeling and looking healthier. It's breaking less and shedding less, and or shedding, whichever is happening, less. What I did find is that I had the most amount of shedding slash breaking slash knots in the front part of my hair. The last time I did a reapplication, it was more so in the middle of my hair. So I'm wondering if, you know, it just kind of rotates and there's always going to be some knots, shedding, breaking happening, or if it just goes through one cycle and from here on out it's clear and smooth sailing, which is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that each time I do this, I have less and less shedding and breaking. This time around, I literally had this much. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really tiny in comparison to the shedding I've had before in the past. And this one's actually not even rolled tightly. So I guess if I rolled it even tighter like I have been rolling the others in the past, it gets even smaller. So like that small when I roll it tightly. So I don't know if you can really see that. I'll probably just do a quick cutaway so you can see how big the shedding amount was. But so far so good. So normally what I do is when I sleep in the evenings, I just put my slap cap on, I leave the braids hanging, and then during the day I just pin it up in a ponytail, and that's how I roll. I've been getting a lot of compliments on that hairstyle for some reason. I have no idea why. I feel like Celie from The Color Purple, but people seem to like it. I kind of keep my edges tamed. I don't know if you can kind of see that. It looks kind of weird right now because my hair is so, I guess, freshly oiled. But I do keep my edges tame with this Aveda gel, and I think we've talked about this before. It's from their Brilliant line, a retexturing gel. I suck at using gel, and I suck at brushing down baby hairs, but this is what we have to do for now. So we'll tune back in day 20, 21-ish, and I'll let you know how things look there.
Okay, it's day 21, so I'm just gonna do a really quick one for this check. I made a new batch. You can see that there. I've learned a few lessons around making these batches from the first 2-3 times that I made it. The first 2 times that I made it. So all I'm gonna do is quickly redo my hair, record a length check, and then probably give you a couple of comments at the end here, but let's get right into it. All right, length check for day 21. Let's see where we're at. I just put a little bit of Shea Bay in here and getting any shed hair out that may have come out. And let's see where we are. So, standing straight up. I mean, I think, like I said from the last time I did a length check, I feel like this is maybe about 3/4 of an inch to an inch longer. Kind of keep my head straight here, because we were right, you know, sort of at the top here where the areola would start, and now we're a little further. So if you probably can't see, but this is the edge of my hair where my finger is. That's the edge of the hair, and I'm trying to keep my head straight. But yeah, so I feel like, oh, get that a little wet. I feel like we're probably at about 3/4 of an inch longer, but again, I don't know if it's just I don't know if it relaxed a little bit more, or it's just so moisturized that it can stretch a little longer. It's hard to say, but we will continue on, and that is that. So this time I had less hair come out. So it looks like each time that I do this, less and less hair comes out. So that's a great thing. That's what I'm looking for. In my entire head, I only found 2 knots, which is phenomenal because I usually can't go from, you know, one strand to the next without finding a knot. So that's good. I'll keep you posted. Had a little bit of, it seems like a tiny bit of growth, or either growth or stretching, a lot less hair breakage, and this protective styling seems to work. I'm making sure that I get it down onto my scalp because I feel like that's probably going to be the most bang for my buck versus putting it just on the shaft of my hair. And so far so good. I don't know, it's messy, it's nasty, but so far so good. All right. Okay, so we've come to the end, and I just want to wrap up this whole 40-day thing. So I took the braids out. I am so glad to see my hair. And I kind of screwed up towards the end. I kind of got tired of recording, and you know, every time I reapply, it's just so messy. So just to say, you know, let you know, I'll show a clip of where I showed that I think my hair pretty much grew an inch in 40 days, which isn't bad, because if you kind of, you know, estimate over the course of a year, you'd probably grow around a foot of hair. I mean, I'm just saying, if your hair continuously grew, you didn't have any damage, you retained the length, probably about a foot in a year. I also question whether the Shea Bay had anything whatsoever to do with the growth. I think that I could probably accomplish the same results if I just oiled my hair regularly, like just hydrated, moisturized, and kept my hair in a protective style in the same way, without the Shea Bay. I have a sneaking suspicion that I'd get the same results. I almost want to try it. So I needed to let my hair breathe. Goodness gracious. So this is it. I have not, I haven't washed it yet. I just kind of took the locks out, and you know, that was that. I'm going to wash it and do my normal routine when I do wash, and then leave that there for like a week. And I think I'm gonna go back to doing the protective style, but with only oil. Yes, with all my mixture of oils. And I'm gonna see what happens. I have a feeling that I'm gonna get the same results. The whole process was messy, when you're putting it in, it melts quite easily because the base of it for me was coconut oil, and coconut oil melts, you know, basically when you touch it. So it was like running everywhere and dripping everywhere. Plus I hydrate before I put the stuff in, and so I have rose water in my hair, so it makes it even more messy. So it's everywhere. Like my sink was covered in the stuff. And then, you know, every so often I have to kind of wash my hands in between during the application, because my hands just got so covered in oil and shea butter powder. It's a mess. And then every time you go to reapply, there's so much that falls out, like flakes out and falls down. These are just like black flakes of the product. Looks just like it does in the bag, but black flakes of the product just everywhere. And I showed you footage of that as well. Additionally, when you first put it in, because I told you it melts and drips and leaks, it drips like Jerry curl juice everywhere. So you have to tie your hair down or wrap it, put something on there to sort of catch that extra leakage, that doesn't sound good, but catch the extra product that's melting and dripping. And then after that, you can kind of go free without anything. I initially thought that the shea butter product would look like mud in my hair and that I wouldn't be able to like crusty, flaky mud. But the way that I chose to do my mixture, it was more like it was just like a hair grease, some your normal product, but just with flecks of the shea butter in it. When you first apply it, it does look a bit muddy, but again, like I said, you wrap your hair and then it kind of soaks into the strands, and then the next day you're good to go. So I did not need to wear a wig like I thought I would. The first week I did try to wear a wig. It looked stupid. It looked really stupid. So I just decided not to wear the wig. So my final thoughts, does shea butter grow your hair? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, shea butter does not grow your hair, but the whole practice of, you know, keeping your hair, not manipulating your hair very often, keeping it detangled, keeping it hydrated and moisturized and in a protective style, that will help you retain length. I don't think any of it necessarily makes your hair grow, but I think it helps you retain your length. So, and maybe, you know, keeping it, you know, obviously keeping it moisturized and everything like that keeps it stronger, and that helps you retain your length as well. I'm noticing that after this whole process, that towards the roots where it did grow, it is thicker because it's not breaking. So I am inclined to kind of try this again, to try to, you know, continue to encourage the locks to grow and retain its length and stay thicker and all of that good stuff. So we'll continue on this journey. I think I did kind of a jacked up job of chronicling this whole process, but you get what you get. This is not my bag, not what I do. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you think you're gonna try shea butter. Like it was just my opinion that it doesn't work, but let me know in the comments below if you're interested in trying shea butter. If you have any opinions about the whole process or what my hair looks like at this point or how it looked during the process. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll gladly answer any questions. All in all, I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it at all. I didn't have to think about how I was going to comb my hair every day. That's one thing. So that was helpful. So that's why I feel like I want to do this again and just try a different method. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.